Hello Quetzals! Today we'll talk about a video game that has just been uploaded to the Steam platform called Tlatoani. This game falls into the category of city builders, which are games where you can build cities, make them progress, manage the resources, expand them, and sometimes fight with other competitives against other players. This game might seem recent, but they actually date back to 1964, with the first city builder game, Submarine Game, which operated with commands and had no graphics, construction, or characters. City builders evolved from programming language to the first building and constructions, which were very rustic and basic. Games like Santa Paravia, Fiumaccio, and Utopia in 1981 didn't require programming language. In 1989, SimCity arrived, defining the genre by managing a city with building, roads, traffic, resources, etc. This led to improved version of SimCity over the decades, with the best games in the genre having thousands of attractive components, such as each vehicle, person, train, etc., having its own movement patterns. Historically, focused city builders emerged, recreating ancient civilizations, like the classic Caesar and Paraho, which are still relevant today. These games released in 1993 and 1999 respectively, allowed players to build Roman and Egyptian cities. Inspired by this, more than 13 years after the first Caesar was released comes Tlatoani, named after the greatest rule of many Nahuatl cultures, the way Tlatoani, which means great in Nahuatl. Developed by Perspective Games and Billet Hood Studios, Tlatoani can be played for free on Steam, released on April 24, 2024. The game has both good and bad aspects, including historical incoherencies, such as mistakenly referring to civilization as Aztecs. The main menu features a background image of hunters near Lake Texcoco with the Popocatépetl and Iztaccíhuatl volcanoes in the distance, and music from that era. The menu displays a plan of Tenochtitlan and the Templo Mayor with the Tlatoani identifiable by his turquoise crown, the Xihuitzoli. The game offers a learning campaign to understand gameplay, but it's all in English, which could be a barrier. The game involves build a city, creating housing, infrastructure, food, stone, wood, markets, government buildings, religious centers, etc. As you complete mission, your city grows. The game map shows your territory, and right-clicking allows you move around the space. The training campaign starts with 2 buildings, and depending on your preferences, you may find the game monotonous or engaging. Unlike strategy games like Age of Empires, where action is in minutes, city builders are more passive, focusing solely on city development. Time in the game passes quickly, with days lasting only seconds in real time, and can be paused or accelerated. The game features various constructions like houses, markets, granaries, temples, roads, shrines, and farms necessary for community development. As time progresses, inhabitants move between buildings and surrounding lands, wearing humble clothes or noble class mantles, or as warriors with shields and spears. The game has historical details to highlight, such as the solar calendar, Xiupowali, divided into 18 veintenas, or months, each represented by a glyph, like the second veintena for Xipetotec. The last glyph represents the 5 empty days of the solar calendar, Nemontemi. These glyphs are copied for codices influenced by Spanish cultures. As time advances in the game, it paces through each of these 18 months just as it was in reality. In these other cycles, you'll see statics or function that can be adjusted according to your needs. Another good detail is that if you hold the cursor over any character, the name appears in Nahuatl, with each having their own name, as you can see here. While it may not have the development of other games, it does distinguish characters, making them less anonymous. If you want more progress, press here and everything accelerates, which also applies to the construction progress. As you progress, the count of days also advances. Building is not difficult. You just have to press an icon, click on the construction, and find a place to place it. Of course, this type of missions are in a chain, as certain things obviously require sources or population, and if you don't have them, you can't build. The religious aspect is also highlighted, as in another part of the more development tutorial, we see shrines of various main deities. We see the 4 Tezcatlipocas, Huitzilopochtli, Tezcatlipoca, Xipetotec, and Quetzalcoatl, as well as Tlaloc and Mictlantecutli. For example, this is the shrine of Tlaloc. If you click on the building, you can see how many people visit, similar to a current church, thus registering the entry and exit of people. Now, by playing with the game functions, you can find maps that respect the geographical position of certain populations as we see here. In the end, when evaluating the game, in terms of historical rigor, it does use data that even most Mexicans are unaware of. However, it fails in other historical aspects, taking some creative liberties. As for the gameplay, if we compare it to a game that is more than 13 years behind others like Caesar, Farahu, SimCity, and more, it has a lot of drawing to do. Perhaps a future version will improve it. But for an initial effort that used the pre-Hispanic theme, I think if you are not into immediate action games and don't get bored being an administrator, constructor, changing building functions, the Tlatoani could be a game that entertains you for several hours. So let's take advantage while it's free. The final evaluation is up to you. Have you played Tlatoani? Do you know any better games? Do you think it's worth it? Did something fail? Or what would you have liked the game to include?